Hey everybody, it is that time once again when I pester you about my Patreon campaign, and in doing so remind you that that is a thing which exists, which you can support if you feel like it and if you can afford it. I'll try to make this video as brief as possible. I'll just very quickly review my upcoming fundraising milestones. The next milestone I have yet to hit is the $1,000 a month milestone. When I reach that level, there will be a new series of five more Stupid Things videos. And if you are a Patreon patron of mine, you get to vote to choose which 5 previously covered 5 Stupid Things topics I will return to and write and produce new 5 Stupid Things videos about those topics. There's going to be a Google document, there's going to be an online poll. You can vote to decide which topics I revisit in new 5 Stupid Things videos, but you only get the link to vote if you are a Patreon patron. So that's the deal, and that's at $1,000 a month. At $1,500 a month, that's when I will produce and release all new, brand new, rewritten, freshly recorded audio podcast versions of the An Atheist Reads series. I'm going to go through all of the books I've previously done. I'll start all the way back at An Atheist Reads The Case for Christ. I will go back over those scripts, those notes. I will record brand new audio versions, not just ripping the MP3 audio out of the videos I've already done, but fresh new audio versions of the An Atheist Reads podcast. And then from that point forward, I'll also do high quality audio versions of the future An Atheist Reads series as I continue to produce them. By the way, the new An Atheist Reads series, some of you have been asking if you haven't seen me mention it in other places. The new An Atheist Reads series on this channel starts in January. The first book that I'm going to do next year is the book God's Not Dead by Rice Brooks. So watch for that. Some of you, whether you're patrons or not, some of you have been asking me about the next An Atheist Read series, so that's the deal. The next fundraising milestone is $2,000 a month, and at that level, I will begin producing a live weekly audio podcast. We talked about this a little bit in my most recent Patreon Patrons Hangout. The format will probably end up being similar to the Thinking Atheist podcast that Seth Andrews does, where I'll do it live every week, but then it'll be, obviously a recorded version will be uploaded and it'll be available on iTunes and SoundCloud, and I'll probably put a version of it up on YouTube as well. So you'll be able to hear it in whatever format is most comfortable for you, but it will be recorded, broadcast initially live. I'll take calls, I'll have guests, we'll do interviews, do a lot of things that I would love to do more of in video format, but don't really have the time for. Plus, audio is more portable. People love listening to podcasts. It'll be a lot of fun to do when I get to the $2,000 a month level, live weekly podcast. And at the $3,000 a month level, that's the final milestone I have defined for now. That's when I invest in a major upgrade in video production equipment. New camera, multiple cameras, hopefully, new, even better audio recording equipment, better lights, better backdrops, better circumstances, better equipment, better capability. I'll be able to do things with the YouTube channel, with the videos that I just don't have the ability, either the funds or the capability to do at this point. More on location stuff, more stuff with multiple people. It'll be an upgrade in the presentation and the scope of the channel. The same sort of content, the same sort of voice that I've always had, but just with a slight upgrade in the amount of things and the level of things that I'm able to do. So those are the fundraising milestones. Let me talk for a minute about the most recent Patreon patron hangout that I did. As you may know or may not know, once a month I host a live Google Plus broadcast hangout on this channel for my Patreon patrons. The deal is anybody, whether you're a patron or not, can watch. It's broadcast publicly on my channel for free. But if you are a patron, if you support my Patreon campaign, you can go to my Patreon page about 15 minutes before the show goes live, and you can click on a link to actually join me live on the broadcast and hang out with me in the hangout. We've done 3 of these so far. They've all been a huge amount of fun. Each one has been more fun than the last. We did one just yesterday, actually, as I'm recording this. It was me and about 5 patrons wound up hanging out with me for the hour, and it was just a ton of fun. We talked about the future of this channel. We talked about some of the things I mentioned already, podcasts and new video series that I want to do in 2015. We talked about the new Star Wars trailer. We talked about the Red Letter Media, Mr. Plinkett Star Wars reviews that I love and a lot of other people love. And we talked about all kinds of other stuff too. It was a lot of fun, just a laid back, relaxed, roundtable discussion, very unmoderated, very undirected, and just a great, great time. And I would love for you guys who are patrons of mine who are thinking about becoming patrons of mine to consider checking out the next Patreon hangout that I'm going to have, which at this point I haven't officially scheduled yet, but I'm thinking the next one will be on December 21st. It'll be Sunday, December 21st, starting at noon Eastern time, like they have been recently. That seems to be a decent time for most people to be able to make it, either who want to watch it live or who want to join me in the hangout. So subject to change, but right now I'm thinking December 21st. For the next Patreon hangout. I mean, it's tough. December is a tough month with the holidays, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Now, before I get out of here, let me give you this month's patron shoutouts. One of the rewards you can claim, actually, I think the only defined reward you can claim at the moment if you join my Patreon campaign is if you pledge $5 a month or more, you get a shout out at the end of these monthly thank you for your patronage videos. So here are this month's new $5 or more patrons, and here are their shout-outs. David William Edwards, thank you very much. Chris, thanks Chris. Stephen David Sobel, thanks Stephen. Daniel Hadley, thanks Daniel. John Benson, hi John, thank you very much. Serious Mind, thanks, Joe. And Josh Barrett. Thank you, Josh, very much. Thanks to all of my patrons. Thanks especially to those guys who got shout-outs and everybody else who is pledged at the $5 level or above. No matter what you are pledging, whether it's $1, $5, $10, $20, $50 a month. Some people, believe it or not, are pledging in excess of $40 or $50 a month. If you can afford that much and you think I'm worth it, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. I cannot tell you how humbling and gratifying that is. But a dollar a month makes a huge difference. Sharing the Patreon page makes a difference, to let other people know about the campaign, to let other people know about me and my work, if you think that I'm worth it. If you can't afford it, or you're not really into funding people's YouTube pages, that's completely fine with me. You don't have to donate a penny to me. But if you think I'm worth it, if you can afford it, if it's something you can support, I welcome your support and I ask for it. And thank you guys so much for supporting the Patreon campaign. That's it for this month's Patreon video. I'll see some of you hopefully later this month for the next hangout. And thank you guys for contributing. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for watching and for your support.